There are a lot of people in their 20s,
Yeah.
and they're maybe thinking about buying a home or buying a car or some purchase. Thoughts for them?
Stay away from credit as much as possible. It's a shame to see. Well, I have said consistently, and what I find is that M. King Hubbard said the same thing, and I came to my own conclusions, and then somebody pointed out to me that M. King Hubbard, the prophet of peak oil, said the same thing back in the 1950s. Until you change the way money works, you change nothing.
And what does that mean to you?
What that means is that we live in an economic paradigm, a global economic paradigm, but especially refined in the United States, that's based upon fractional reserve banking, where a bank can lend $9 for every dollar on deposit based upon its reserve requirements. Sometimes it's 10. They just create money out of thin air. Compound interest, which people learn the hard way about compound interest by only paying the minimum monthly payment on their credit cards. And debt-based growth, which is a pyramid scheme. It requires infinite growth. And until you change the way money works, whether you're in a fossil fuel economy like we are now, or whether you're in some green fantasy utopia down the road, it's still going to demand infinite growth, which is not possible. That's the trap. So in order for an individual to survive, you have to disengage as much as possible from that paradigm. Where do you find compound interest rates? You find it on mortgages, you find it on credit cards, you find it on student loans, you find it on auto loans. Okay? So when you're going to buy a car, pare down your expectations. Get something cheap. And if you're going to finance, get the shortest term possible, the lowest interest rate possible.
Fixed interest, I imagine.
Well, you will on a car, but on a home, definitely. I mean, who would go near an adjustable rate mortgage in their right mind? Well, of course, tens of millions of Americans already have, but they were sucked into it. But stay away from that as much as possible. When you're trapped in any interest-paying arrangement, your money's working against you essentially twice. You pay it out and you're making payments, but the amount that you owe is increasing every month that you don't pay the bill off. You need to turn the table so that your money works for you. And the best thing you can do is to, of course, have money that's earning interest, like in a savings account. I wouldn't put any money in the stock market now. That's just I've never put money in the stock market, and I wouldn't do it. Okay. I encourage young people to buy gold, which is a tangible physical asset.
To hold it physically or to hold
physical gold? There's 5 times more paper gold.
Keep it at home or keep it at the bank? Or?
In a safety deposit box, or in a safe at home. See, until the Industrial Revolution, money was pegged to a physical substance, the pound sterling. The pound sterling was based upon, you can only have so many pounds based on how many pounds of sterling silver there were in the British Treasury. The U.S. had the gold standard. There was always a natural connection between money and something physical in the world. And at the turn of the last century, in the 1900s, and the U.S. finally completely severed itself from the gold standard in the late 70s, but it really started with the Federal Reserve. We disengaged money from energy. Money is useless without energy. You cannot eat a $20 bill. You can put a $100 bill in your gas tank, your car will not go anywhere. Money represents the ability to do work. It has a physical, tangible connection to the planet.
I thought energy represented the ability to do work.
Money represents the ability to do work. Energy is the ability to do work. Money is a symbol for the ability to do work. Okay. So we created a system of infinite growth that collided with finite energy. If you're looking at the chart this way, it collided that way. Okay. When money is out there, but there's only so much energy to do anything with that money, and that's where the system breaks down. And that's essentially the point. That's one of the ways of describing the point that we're at now. So for individuals to deal with that, you need to disengage from that system of infinite growth as much as possible. And gold is my only investment. Okay, that's just a choice that I make. But at some point, we will have to return to a point where money represents some physical limitation on the planet. Because the way we see now, and you know, this is probably, it's funny, 5 years ago I would be saying that the only people who get screwed are the little people, the ones who are, but they were all buying houses 5 years ago. They were all expanding credit and emerging, but they're the only ones paying the price now. You and I are the only ones paying the price for the bailout. It's our tax money. And so put yourself in a position where you don't need to be bailed out because nobody's ever going to come bail the individuals out.